approach, but you got to attack, even if you're winning, and even if you're defending. After a while, the coach brought out Giovanni Dos Santos, and he brought in someone else to defend in his place, and that was it. The Dutch had the ball all the time, and it was just a matter of them trying to score. They didn't have to worry about anything at the back, and you can't give that opportunity to big teams like Holland or to any other teams in general in the World Cup. And look what happened. The Dutch, they kept the faith, and Van Gaal was really very flexible. I mean, I still don't understand why he does some decisions like Fields and Dirk Kuyt as a left wing back. Maybe he's got something on his mind that I don't understand about this. But he might seem an arrogant coach, but he's very humble when it comes to his flexibility. He would acknowledge that he did a certain mistake, and after 10 or 15 minutes, he was just changed the whole formation because he's not too proud to admit it.
Yes.
And he did that in the Mexico game, and he kept attacking with 3 players, and he did whatever possible for him to win the game. And the good thing is that after they scored the equaliser, you could see that Robin was going over there. He's trying to win a penalty because he's saying, let's finish this now. We don't want to wait for the extra time because we're so tired and the weather has been too hot for us. Yeah. And if this game lingers for longer than this, then we might eventually lose it. That's the difference between the big team that really wants to win a game.
And didn't really deserve, this foul. I don't think it was that risky for the penalty.
You mean if it was like
just, like if he left him instead of getting this penalty and losing the whole match.
Of course, I mean, you wouldn't blame him for trying whatever he does. I mean, he had a fair shout for a penalty in the first half, which wasn't given. I don't think that it was a clear penalty for him in the second. And we could see that Marquez didn't have a clear contact with him in the second one. But at this time of the game, and you're in the penalty box and you're defending Robin, you know that this is what he's going to aim for. And you just see that Holland were trying to get something out of it, and as I told you, they really wanted to win it before extra time. Mexico seemed out of sorts after Holland equalised because that was the end of their plan. They built the whole dream on the fact that they're going to defend after scoring that 1 goal, and that's it. It could have worked for them, but I'm telling you, this tournament, it hasn't worked for many of the other teams that try to do the same. And you gotta try and attack more, and I think this is victory for good football, because if you keep defending, you're not going to win. Even USA did the same. Belgium kept attacking for at least good 45 minutes yesterday, and the USA were just at the receiving end. And if you don't have a brilliant goalkeeper, you're not going to last for that long in the first place.
Exactly.
So you got to attack more. You can't defend for the rest of the game like that.
Okay. Finally, with Netherlands, with the first match of Netherlands, people started to think that this team is capable of, taking the World Cup. Given the fact that they had good performance also in the previous one, and but again they were quite lucky. They were persistent in the match with Mexico. But do you think they can make it towards the finals?
I think they have what it takes to reach the semis. The Costa Rica game is not going to be easy for them whatsoever. But they still have the experience, and they have the physical abilities, and they have the coach and the tactics that can actually make them win against Costa Rica. But really, when you take a look at the individuals that Holland has, even before the tournament, not everyone really written them off, and no one expected them to do anything, including the win against Spain. I thought they were going to struggle against Chile, and eventually they won that game, which I think, in my opinion, was a very good tactical game, because individually they don't have the skills. Like Chilean players are better than the Dutch, and apart from Robin, of course. But apart from Robin and Van Persie, the rest of the Dutch players are playing their first big tournament. And Sneijder, of course, but the rest of them, we don't know their names. And to do this with the current group of players he has, Van Gaal, I think he's doing a very, very good job. And he's trying to use them in the best possible manner. So I think Mexico...
So far it's working well.
It is working well. I mean, they were a bit lucky against Mexico, but I think Mexico was probably the strongest opponent any team could have faced in the last 16 round.
Yes.
They could have caused problems for any other team, not just Holland.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Let's move on now for a very short break and returning back.